All right, what's up, YouTube? Yeah, sitting here with my dinner. Got a quesadilla. Made myself a dang quesadilla. Actually, the ladies at the little market next door made it, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm gonna make this quick introduction. 5-year CDL review. It's been over 5 years, but you know your license always expires on your birthday. So I have a birthday coming up in the future, and I went ahead and renewed my license a little early since COVID-19. Everything's a little weird with DMV. I wanted to make sure I got it done. When it's your career, when it's the way you put food on the table, you shouldn't wait till the last minute to do anything. You know, you should always be ahead of the game and prepared. So anyway, I went ahead and did that, and gave me the idea to do a little 5-year review. And stay tuned, because at the end of the video, I'm actually going to put a collage picture of all of my DMV pictures. I'm missing one, but all of my DMV pictures from all my licenses I've ever had. And you're really going to want to see my 32-year-old license. I look like a different dude. So I've been told I look homeless. So check that out. And yeah, see you guys in the video.
All right, leaving the yard. You know what? I think we're going to turn right today. We're going to go down to Highway 580 up over the Altamont, past the Scales, down through Hayward and San Leandro, Oakland. We'll connect to the 880 over there, go by the Port of Oakland, and then we'll go all the way to Richmond. How does that sound to you guys? I hope that sounds good. All right, so 5-year CDL review. This is inspired by, number one, that it was time for my CDL to be renewed. But number two, it was inspired by one of my subscribers, Devon or Devon. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but he has his profile picture is a Hawaii license plate that says Shaka. And anyway, so that's kind of cool. Always appreciate his comments on the videos, but one of my videos recently where I was kind of complaining about small checks, $800 to $900 checks, and he just said, "Man, that's still a blessing." And you know what? He's totally right. And I'm kind of a snob now. I've to where I kind of look down at $800 to $900 a week, but it was just a short while ago that I was making between $500 and $650 a week. I had 3 kids, and I was working at a full-time job. I was a manager, like a department manager at a water damage restoration place, and I was struggling, really struggling. And then I picked up a couple different jobs. I was supposed to be an estimator for a moving company, kind of doing in-home sales for estimating on like whole house moves and that kind of thing. And the guy ended up just putting me to work as a mover, and so that wasn't fun, and didn't really allow for me to provide for my family. And so anyway, there was a number of steps along the way, but to catch you up to August 2015, when I got my CDL, I was unemployed. And I was hoping to move out of state. I wanted to move to Texas. That was kind of the plan. And Texas had jobs, but a lot of them were truck driving jobs. And I had already dabbled in truck driving 9 years earlier. I had my Class A permit, and I had learned how to drive. My father-in-law taught me how to drive for about a month. I was riding with him and driving around in his truck. And then I decided to pursue ministry instead of truck driving. And so I just had odd jobs, whatever could pay the bills, or I guess almost pay the bills, in order for me to focus on ministry and that kind of thing. So anyway, August 2015, I was unemployed. We wanted to move out of state. I decided to get my Class A license. And most of you guys know I started working for Morningstar Trucking. They helped me get my CDL. because my father-in-law had moved out of state, so I was no longer able to utilize him as a trainer. But like riding a bike, I got back in the driver's seat of a big rig, and 9 years in between learning how to drive and getting my CDL, I took to it pretty quick. There was a few things I needed to polish up on, downshifting and a few other things, but mostly it was the pre-trip and a few other little things I needed to work on to make sure that I could pass my test and get my Class A. So once I got my CDL, I immediately started working the tomato season, which I was making, I think, between like $1,200 and $1,300 a week take home. So already I pretty much doubled my income from what I had been making just a few years previous. Truck driving allowed me to do that. That was my first job, but it was a seasonal job, so they pay a little better because it's seasonal, and they need to be able to attract guys to come and work for a short season. But then I decided I wanted to become an owner operator, and the fastest way that I knew how to do that was through this guy who ran flatbed in the town that I live in. And so I went and I talked to him. I had known someone who had bought a truck straight out of CDL school with him. So I asked him about that, and he said that he could no longer do that program, kind of a lease purchase program for new guys, that his insurance was too high and that he could no longer do it. But that he had another opportunity for me if I wanted to be a company driver, that I could run dry van for him. And so rather than kind of hold out for something better and kind of uh, try and see if I could figure out something to do, I took a job getting paid 25% of the loads, and I was running from Northern California down to Southern California and back. And it was an experience. 4 months, 5 months of running, pretty much living in the truck all week long, and yeah, pretty much just living in the truck and um, and being home on the weekends. So that was fun, but it only lasted. It was only fun for a short time, and then I was ready to be home a lot more. I had the opportunity to uh, go to work where I work now. Oh yeah, and that job. I wanted to kind of give you guys the pay structure of each job. So 25% of the load, and the load's paid anywhere between like $700 and $900, with some being as low as $600 per load. At least that's what they wrote on the pages. I can't believe that they would be working, for that. But that was uh, let's see, fall and winter of 2015 and the winter of 2016. And then so I was taking home between $700 and $900 depending on the check. They did have some local loads I could run and then grab another load down to Southern California, that kind of thing. But for the most part, it was just running back and forth, 5 loads a week, um, alternating. Some weeks you'd get 3 drops in Southern California and 2 drops in Northern California, and obviously on the off weeks it was the other way around. So um, some weeks were better paying than others because loads pay better coming out of LA going up north than loads going from up here down to LA. So um, I ended up uh, making not a lot of money, $700 to $900, but that was my second job. I had almost no experience, and I was getting some good experience in. I'm really thankful for that job, for that opportunity. Um, I was able to see my family every single weekend, and I stopped through maybe a few times in the middle of a week, like a few times a month. I would have enough time on my clock and in my schedule to be able to come by the house, eat dinner with the family, and kind of do that. So I went from doing that $700 to $900 a week, and I started working over here at Silva. And they wanted to start me out. I wanted to do the hazmat tankers right away, but they wanted to kind of test me a little bit, and so they had me start out um, in their port, um, running to the port of Oakland. I don't know, port division. Um, Let me see. I think this Swift guy wants to get over. I'm gonna leave him a little bit of a gap here. See if he'd like to come all the way over. There he is. Give him the lights. You're welcome, Swifty Swift. You know, I gotta say, Swift gets a bad reputation. In my experience, there's been a number of very courteous and safe drivers that I've seen for Swift. So take that with a grain of salt. I don't know. Everyone's different. They've just got so many trucks on the road that it's possible they just have some knuckleheads sitting in trucks. But for the most part, from what I've seen, a lot of guys are really good drivers, really safe drivers, aren't in a hurry. That's the main thing. But anyway, so I started going to the Port of Oakland, which is a world in and of itself. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy thing. And when I was doing that, I would say I averaged, I was getting paid by the hour. So that was good because the port can sometimes be frustrating. You could sometimes be sitting waiting for one of the longshoremen to come and take your box off your truck for hours on end. So it really just depends on the schedule they have for which ship they need to load first and unload first. And sometimes you're just not in an area or you're the box you have just isn't as important for them on the logistics on their end. So you just kind of sit and wait a little bit. But anyway, so it was oh man, that little bug is right there on the right where the lens is. That's crazy. Hit a little gnat. It's wintertime, so normally we don't get too many bugs, but we got lucky and got a bug right in the middle of the screen. That's awesome. Anyway, uh, so I was running those, and I would say most weeks I made a average of $1,000 a week running to Oakland, getting paid by the hour, running 60 to 70 hours a week most weeks, and it slows down, and that's why I say on average, because I would make over that sometimes. Take home about $1,000 a week, and so that was an experience in and of itself. And the only thing that was really enjoyable about it, I would say, is the schedule. You started every day at 4 a.m. and you were home between 4 and or back to the yard between 4 and 6 p.m. pretty much every single day. And you had kind of a normal life. I mean, yeah, you had to wake up early, but it was pretty cool, man. I kind of liked it. But I wanted to do hazmat tankers. I wanted to buy a truck. Here at Silva Trucking, where I work now, they only have owner operators for a couple of the different hauls that they have, and so the hazmat tanker haul is the main one where they have the most owner operators, and so that was going to be my opportunity to buy a truck. If they had owner operators running to the port, I probably would have tried to get into that, because with sulfur, the customers want us to deliver at night. There's a few other little things that make it a little bit more difficult to run sulfur than running to the port, just from a family standpoint. But nevertheless, I started doing hazmat tankers as a company driver, and I was working, getting as many hours as I could, but generally, unless I milked the clock, I was only getting about 11 and a half to 12 hours a night. And that's just because of the way that the loads work, the distance they are from the customers. It just works out to where they can't really give you another load after you've worked 11 and a half or 12 hours. They can't fit another load on you. So that's really all you get. And so you either take your time and milk the clock, which is totally not my style, or, you get your work done in an efficient manner, and you only get, 60 hours a week. So I was making a little bit less money as a hazmat tanker employee driver. And so I actually told them, hey, I'd like to go back to work in the port. I was making more money, and it doesn't seem like you guys are in a hurry to sell me a truck. So they were kind of slow rolling me a little bit on that side of things, on when to buy a truck. And so I had asked them, and they said oh, just hold tight. You'll get there. Just hold tight. And right about that time, I had the opportunity to buy my brother's truck. My brother was already an owner operator here at Silva, and so I had the opportunity to buy his truck. He was trying to sell it, and so I was able to purchase that truck, a 2008 Peterbilt 388, little short nose conventional hood truck. It was well, you guys can watch the videos on that. that was a great learning experience for me. I'll leave it at that. And yeah, so from there, once I bought the truck, my income has kind of it's more volatile once you own a truck because you have a lot more expenses, between your insurance and fuel and truck payment uh, and trailer rental. You got to work your butt off to make what I was making as a company driver. But I can make what I was making as a company driver in about 40 hours or so, and I was having to work 60 hours to make that. So for 20 less hours, generally I could make about the same money as I was making as a company driver. And then when you figure, then when you work 60 hours, which is generally roughly about 15 loads for the week, would be about 60 hours, 65 hours. Um, you know, my paychecks take home were going to be over $2,000, and obviously when you have repair bills and all kinds of other things going on, um, it affects it all. But all of that included, um, you know, I've now gone from the point where I set my bills up for me to make around 1,500 a week. That's kind of my base pay that I expect, and so pretty much double that 750 that I used to kind of shoot for when I was when I was working as a manager at a water damage and fire damage restoration company. So pretty much doubled my money. I work in a lot more, I don't know, a better environment. I have freedom. I'm out here running around on the roads, driving around. It's enjoyable. I really enjoy it. And yeah, so that that is my 5-year CDL review. I went from $750 a week to $1,200 a week, back to $750 a week for a short time in trucking, and then up to $1,000 a week, and now roughly $1,500 a week. And then anything over that just gets put in savings for when the truck breaks down and all that other stuff. So that's kind of my spiel. Check out these old license photos now because these are comical. All right, you see all the way up there. You got 16-year-old Nick, baby Nick. I think I was at the lake just before I took that picture, so I was kind of sunburned, sun-kissed. And then you go through the years. 16, 19. You had to renew your license after 3 years on the first one, and then it goes to every 5 years. So I have my 24-year-old license, and then my 29-year-old license isn't pictured because they actually took it from me when I got my CDL. My first CDL was my 31-year-old license. So I'm missing that one picture, but that's okay. It looked pretty close to all the other ones. Most of these pictures, I was wearing a hat, and I was like, oh shoot, I gotta take a picture, and I took off my hat, and my hair was just all bland, and I didn't shave, and so yeah, it took me all the way till I was 36 years old before I realized, like, hey, when I go to DMV to renew my license, they're gonna take my picture. Maybe I should like do my hair and look presentable instead of like a homeless dude. But check out 32-year-old Nick. Do I not look homeless? And I look mad. I look upset. There's a number of things going on in that picture. I think beyond just the beard and the hair. But yeah, that was a season of my life. My wife is glad that season is over. I would have kept the beard and probably the long hair too for a lot longer, except I once I started doing the hazmat tankers, I had to shave so that the masks, the fresh air masks, would seal on your face. You got to be clean shaven when you wear masks. So yeah, so that's the only reason why all that came off. But my hair was really long. It's hard to tell actually in that picture. I'll throw in a couple other pictures just because it's kind of funny. Look at these pictures. The hair on top of my head is more gray than the rest of my hair. And so when I parted it down the middle like that, it just covered up all my brown hair and made my hair just look white or gray. It was crazy. So that was a season of life. Like I said, my wife's glad that season is over, and yeah, we're on to clean shaven mustache Nick, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like probably my best best license picture I've taken was the most recent one. So we'll be happy with that one for 5 years. It was actually fun for me to go up and hand my license to people at like the refineries and stuff, and they'd always do a double take. Like, wait, is this you? Wait, is this really you? Yeah, that was me. That's me. Yeah, I'm not trying to use a fake ID or anything. That was me. I just got a little mountain man for a while, just let it all grow. I always worked in either an office setting or a sales environment. And so I always had to be, kind of clean shaven and, always had to have somewhat of a presentable look. And so truck driving was my first opportunity where I got to just, let my hair down literally. And so I just kind of took advantage of it. I said, screw this, they either love it or hate it, but it's going to be me. That's what I'm going to do. So anyway, 5 year CDL review. I think I'll make another video of 5 year future plans, where I want to be in 5 years. So stay tuned for that. Let me know how the audio sounds on this, guys, because I got a whole setup now where I use my Bluetooth headset, and so I'm trying to eliminate some of the rattling and kind of stuff that happens in this dang plastic truck that they have me in, and try to see if this will work better. And then I tried to zoom in past the mirror, or I mean the windshield, so that hopefully it will focus the way it's supposed to focus. But I can't tell if it worked, and then especially with that bug on there. But yeah, well, let me know how it looks, what you guys think, and yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff, comment. You guys are awesome. Love you. Talk to you guys later.